Okay, so then this is Todd's tweet that got like people upset or something. I guess. Okay, I get that people don't want to hear negative things, but let's face reality. There are no major quality of life or UI updates in over a decade. I agree to this to a certain extent, but I also disagree. And the reason why I disagree is because Final Fantasy has took mods and put them into the game. That to me is a quality of life. Like the debuff timers, for example. Now, if Todd meant like the friends list or something, then I agree to that. So that's why I say I somewhat agree and also somewhat disagree. So it depends on the context. The mobile version getting features we can't get in retail, adding to FOMO and resentment. Okay, so this part I actually think is kind of crazy. Now, I haven't played the mobile version, but the mobile version looks slick, man. It really does. Let me ask you guys a question. For those of you that code, the stuff that they have in the mobile version, can they put that into the PC version? No, yes, no, yes. No, in a way. My question is why can't they? Is it just because of the old code? Because I feel like that is like a dead horse at this point. Different engine. FF has an engine that was built back in 2010 or earlier. Okay. They can do it, but they would take a lot of work. Okay, so then that means that they're not going to do it. Okay, I understand. DC travel killed PF in NA region. Why isn't all combined and shared? There's two parts to this, right? DC travel killed PF in NA region, and why isn't it all combined and shared? I think the thing is we should focus on the most is this part right here. I think this is the most important. This being fixed would completely negate this. You have two problems, but if you fix the big problem, it will naturally fix the smaller problem. DC travel won't matter if you have an entire data center of party finders, right? So you know how you have a primal party finder and that type of shit? Well, what if you just combined all of that data center? Then it wouldn't matter at all. So this first issue would it wouldn't even matter. I can't remember if they touched on this. I know they said that EU data center travel from NA to EU, it's already possible. They just haven't implemented it yet. So I know that that's a thing, but this also needs to be a thing too, because like a lot of you mentioned being on light and chaos and stuff, and you have to go to another data center. So it's the same thing on NA. So they should just combine that shit. Like there should be a party finder for every like region. Massive technological debt due to old infrastructure preventing real innovation and updates. Yo, did you watch that Coding Jesus video on pirate software? Okay, so for those of you that don't know, Pirate Software is he's a massive liar. He's a massive fraud. Everything he says is a fucking lie. He's a huge fucking clown, man. There was an actual coder. He critiqued and gave his feedback on Pirate Software's code, and he described it as technical debt, which basically means that you're coding in a shitty way that works now, but in the long run, it's going to cost you. This is just saying like the code is shit, right? It's fragile, not very extendable. Yeah, so I mean, this is true because it always goes back to old code when it comes to Final, like some of the shit in Final Fantasy XIV, it is unbelievable that it still exists. Like the friends list, just little stuff like that. It's like sprinkled throughout the entirety of the game. They need to like, I don't know, fix their shit. But you know what? I'm not a coder. So me saying fix your shit, there's probably a lot more involved than just fixing your shit. Yeah, let's just fix it. Just fix it, forehead. So I don't know what they could do on that. Dawntrail MSQ not delivering on many fronts. Okay, so this I have no opinion of because I don't really give a shit. I don't really like, this could be the best story or the worst story. I don't really give a shit. But Dawntrail MSQ not delivering on many fronts, this apparently is true because everybody's crying about Wook Lamau. Okay, no clear long-term roadmap of new innovation, updates unlikely, nearly every MMO out there does. So there has been some stuff that is said. Absolutely nothing is wrong, but not like, I would agree with not a lot. So like, let me give you an example of like some small things, right? Let me give you some example of some small things that I wish that this game had that pretty much every other fucking MMO can do. An account warehouse. Why in the fuck don't I have a warehouse that my main character can't access? Why can't I send a mail to my alt? Why is it so complicated and convoluted for me to give my alt character on the same account some fucking shit? Why can't I summon a merchant wherever I'm at? Why can't I summon the banker? Why can I only trade in like 1 mil? There's a lot of like little stuff like that I think is ridiculous. All of that little stuff, you don't notice it when you play this game for long enough. And then when you go to another game, you will notice it instantly. So that type of little stuff, I don't even think they understand. And I don't know if it's just dumbass JP mentality or not. I have no idea what it is. But their lack of ability to innovate and shit is fucking cringe. It is insane to me that this game, it promotes one character being able to play every job, but it's an illusion. Sure, you can level every job on the one character, but can you play it? That's a whole other fucking different story. There's a lot of little problems that come with playing multiple jobs on the one character. Imagine that you get a piece of gear that is account bound. You can take it off of your main character, put it in the account warehouse, and give it to your alt. Wouldn't that be fucking cool? Wouldn't that be fucking awesome? Wouldn't that be great? That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome if I could just fucking give my alt some shit. You know what I mean? It's almost like that the devs are completely fucking oblivious to the fact that more shit should be account bound and having multiple characters. Like, the devs are so stupid that they will sell you a piece of gear on the Mog Station, like a glamour or an emote, that is for one character only. That is so fucking stupid. I can't even put into words. Like, when you buy something, you know, and look, guys, we're not going to get into how shitty the Mog Station has been recently. Okay. We're not going to get into that because it's actually embarrassing. It's actually fucking embarrassing. And you know what the biggest embarrassing part about that is that if they actually used even half a brain cell to put good shit on the Mog Station, they would make a fucking killing. Now, let me give you some suggestions on what should be in the Mog Station. Animations. I want a different running animation for my fucking Dark Knight. Instead of running like this, okay, I want to run like this. Or like this. Okay? I promise you that if they added animations to the Mog Station, those animations, like if they were good, they would make a fucking killing. Another thing that they could do, they could also sell jobstone emotes. What do I mean by that? Well, what if whenever you changed your job, now I got this from a mod, by the way, you know, of course, the person that showed me the mod, I banished them from my community and I never talked to them again. But there are emotes where when you change jobs, instead of just the you know what I mean? There's an actual animation. So like, for instance, when you change job to a ninja, it will be like a smoke cloud. So it'll be like, and then like you turn into a ninja. And I think that those would also sell very, very high. Or like, you know, I think it would be cool if like when you change to warrior, there would be like fire that comes up from your body for maybe like a second. You know what I mean? I think that would be pretty fucking cool. So here is another really, really funny thing that they could sell on the Mog Station is like death animations. Yeah, look at this guy. Oh, yo, that's fucking great. Okay, see that shit, dude? See that shit? That's what I'm talking about. Look at this guy, just comes out of nowhere. It's so good, brother. I don't know why there's a Taco Bell song or Taco Bell fucking dude. See this is what I'm talking about, man. This is what I'm talking about. This could make the game better. 100% better. And you know what, man? Honestly, I feel like that even if it was just so you could see it, I feel like that's all. Like, now, obviously, if like everybody sees it, that would be great. You could turn it off, you could turn it on. But at minimum, if only you could, because I would buy this shit. I would buy this shit. Like, even if I was the only person that could see people fly up in the air like that, dude, I would still buy it. I think it's funny as fuck. You know what I mean? I think it's funny as it was funny 5+ years when it came out. It was funny. I feel like that the Mog Station, it could definitely have a lot better shit. Peak WoW Exodus, COVID lockdown, record Twitch viewership, and parasocial behavior, plus amazing Shadowbringers Endwalker MSQ now returning to pre-Stormblood numbers. This was expected, but the drop-off is shocking for many. Okay, this is actually a really good point. So people want to compare the numbers of the WoW Exodus versus non-WoW Exodus. Now, this is very important because a lot of people thought that Final Fantasy was a much better game back then, but that's not entirely true, right? That's not true at all. Because actually, Shadowbringers to me, it was like a mid expansion. I mean, it was okay. It was okay. It wasn't bad, but it only had one ultimate. So for me personally, now I understand Shadowbringer's story and is great and all that. But my point being here is that the peak during COVID in the WoW Exodus, those numbers were never real. And the problem here is that when a lot of people say that the game is dead, they will compare the current numbers to that. And that's not a realistic comparison. And the reason why it's not a realistic comparison is because of the outside factors that influenced Final Fantasy XIV. Those outside factors, okay, you cannot replicate, or, well, I mean, it's going to be almost impossible to replicate. So the COVID lockdown, obviously people were supposed to be inside more, but in my opinion, the more impactful one was actually the WoW Exodus. So many people came over from WoW to play 14, and it was not because 14 was good. That's the biggest thing that people fail to understand. The game was not popular because it was good. The game was popular because WoW was bad, because WoW was awful. There is a clear and very important distinction between those two mentalities. And the reason why is because those people that came from WoW over to 14, it does not matter how good 14 was, they were always going to go back to WoW. It was always that thing. Okay, both can be true, but my point still stands. Those people that came from WoW to 14, they were never going to stay. Never. So when people compare the amount of players at that particular time, it is a very unfair comparison because that will probably never happen again. And it was never, Final Fantasy XIV was never that popular because of Final Fantasy XIV. Final Fantasy XIV was that popular because of COVID and because of WoW. It was that combination. It was like a perfect, storm, if you will. And those people came over and they were never going to stay. And that's the problem that people can't understand. This was expected. And for some reason, they don't understand that. Anyway, let's see. Absolute dog water new player experience from using their early 2000s busted websites to wading through Oh, this is what I think he's talking about. Actually playing the game with the Mog Station and the SE account and all that shit. That is fucking horrendous. That is horrendous. I have never seen a company not want to take money. Like, it's actually insane, dude. It is actually insane that how hard it is to actually make an account and start playing this game. It is fucking nuts. I have never played a game where it is that hard to give the company money. Don't even get me started on the expansions. How many of you in here, this is your first expansion? Okay, so you started with Dawntrail. The reason why I asked that question is because of this. If you continue to play this game until the next expansion, they will give you 2 different codes for the expansion. They're going to give you like the early access, and then they're going to give you the expansion code. Now you would think, and you have to put them in at separate times. Now I know that doesn't sound like, what's the big deal? It's one of those things where you just have to experience it because it's really fucking annoying. It's obnoxious and it makes you think to yourself, why the fuck do I have to do this twice? If I bought the early access, like why is there an early access code and the expansion code? Why can't there just be a code with early access that is also the expansion code? And it's in separate places on the Mog. Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, if you play until dawn or whatever the fucking, what's the next one going to be? Not Dawntrail. It's going to be like, I don't know, man, like midday path. Okay. We're just going to go around the clock. Okay. It's either going to be evening path or midday walk. Okay. Anyway, my point here is that the next expansion, it's going to be obnoxious because you can't just do it all at the same time. You have to put in the early access, then you play early access, then you have to wait. Then after early access, then you put in the expansion. It's just fucking obnoxious. Like basically with that being, and then trying to play the game, it's just really fucking annoying. Okay. So either 8.0 delivers ARR 2.0 with resources and money pumped into a visually aging game to give a new life, or will never happen. And those resources will be allocated for a new MMO or IP. Okay. So this I actually completely disagree with. I completely disagree with this entirely because one, they don't need to do this. I feel like that people saying that the game is going to die, they really have no idea what a dying game is. You guys need to fucking get it into your heads that they don't need to change anything. That is a problem, but that is a fact. They do not need to change anything to keep the game successful. Now, will the game see less players? Yes. But is it still successful? Yes. And that's the thing. They have already stated that they have content and expansions lined up through all of 10.0. That's right. You heard me say it right. I'm just going to tell you this now, guys. 8.0, I don't expect it to be much different than now. And you know what's going to happen? Absolutely fucking nothing. That's what's going to happen. The game isn't going to die. It's just going to be. There was a recent interview. They mentioned that they have content and plans all the way up to 10.0. 8.0, I believe they did mention a job rework, but I feel like the people are over exaggerating the job rework. So like this point right here, I disagree with. They don't have to pump any more money into this game for it to be successful. And that's a problem. It's a good thing, but it's also a problem. It's like a good and bad. The good part is that the game is already like really fucking good. But the problem is that because the game is so good, as a company, they know that they don't need to really improve on it. And they've known this for years. Then why do I shit on it so much? I shit on it because I am one of the only like people that genuinely love the game, that genuinely care about the game. That's my mentality. I think that if you genuinely love something or care about it, you will criticize it. Like a lot of you in chat, you've only played for a couple years, 1 year, 2 years. You don't know shit. You think you do, but you don't. You don't know shit. You don't understand the cycle that the game goes through, okay? If there's anybody in chat, see, here's the problem, guys. It's like a much bigger picture than just, is 8.0 going to be good? Some of you are saying you played for a lot longer. That's fine, I'm sure. But my point being is that a lot of people, a lot of these Doom posters, they're only Doom posting because it's the first time that they've experienced something bad in the game. That's my point. When they say that they have content up until 10.0, I believe them. And I believe them because Final Fantasy XIV is a very successful game to Square Enix. Now, we can shit on it all we want. But see, the same people that are shitting on it, they're also the same people that are like, Final Fantasy XIV is the cash cow of Square Enix. Like, okay, so now you're contradicting yourself. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, how is it dead but a cash cow at the same time? The main reason why I don't agree with this is because they don't need to make another MMO. This game is extremely successful, regardless if people want to think so or not. SC releases its fucking quarterly shit, right? And 8.0, in my opinion, do not expect some massive rework. Now, there could be some significant changes. There could be some good changes, but as far as like completely revamping anything, that's not going to happen. I don't think so. So this whole thing where either 8.0 delivers or the game will die, maybe I'm misunderstanding this, but I don't agree with this at all. I actually believe the opposite. I think that 8.0 could be exactly the same and the game would still be popular. Okay, so yes, raids are fun and content pretty good in parts, but it's short-lived. 4.5 month patch cycles are too long and 2.5 years between expansions are rough for what I'm getting. Okay, so this 100%, but I feel like it didn't really hit people. And SE was smart about this. Okay, the reason why SE was smart about this is because they slipped this in here in the same way that they slipped in all the Fork Tower bullshit, okay? They did it at a time of hype. They worded it like this. They announced the new expansion. Oh yeah, new expansion, Dawntrail, let's go. You hear that, little Zeebs, you hear that, Dawntrail, blah. Everybody's hyped for Dawntrail. And then they said, but then again, we're going to have to, delay the patches by 4.5 months because of the graphics update. Holy shit, the graphics update. Dawntrail, the graphics update. But we are going to delay by 4.5 months. Now, you see how they did that? They sandwiched it in between two big hype parts. So it's kind of like this. Let's say you're scrolling through your phone. All right, scrolling through the phone, you're on Tinder. You're on Tinder. Fuck it, let's be real. You're on Grindr. Okay, ooh, he's juicy ass. I'm super liking that. Okay, so you super like. So you call him. Yo, sup? Yeah, sure. Let's go watch the new Superman movie. I heard it's dog shit. Oh, you heard it's good? Okay, well, we'll go there. Okay, nice. All right, so, you meet up with your Grindr date. You go see the new Superman. All right, everything's good. I don't know if the movie's actually good or not. I've heard it was super good. I've heard it was super bad. But beside the point, let's say it's medium. So it gives you something to talk about with your date. You go back. You have a little bit of Netflix and chill. Let's say you're watching Thanksgiving. And let's say that, Netflix and chill ends up to kissy face. Okay, now you're at their apartment and they got a dog and the dog's kind of nosy. You know what I mean? The dog's a little protective, So let's say you're hitting it from behind and all of a sudden the dog comes up. You all know the story. The dog starts licking your asshole. So that is the part. The dog licking the asshole is the part where it's like 4.5 months. So the good part is, you're hitting it from behind. The bad part in the middle is 4.5 months. Now, as a viewer, as a player, we have to think, do we finish? Now, the answer to that question is obviously yes. So when we finish, that's the second part, right? So you have a really bad situation sandwiched in between two really good situations. Do you understand? So that's kind of how they did it, okay? And they were very smart about the way they did it, okay? It's the same thing as the Forked Tower. Cease. Stop streaming. But my point still stands, is that the way that they slipped it in there was very tricky because at the time, nobody thought how bad it would actually be. That's my point. Now go back to the dog situation. Now nobody thought how bad it would actually be because now after the incident, now you got a butt licking fetish. So now the next time you go over there, you're going to be like, is your dog going to be here too? You know, so you're going to be like that. Okay. So they slipped it in there. 4.5 month patch cycles. That's bad. They need to go back to around 3 months. That was the normal cycle. This right here, I agree with 100%. I feel like the graphics update is not worth it. I think we deserve the same cycle and just to have better graphics. I just think we deserve more. What is the point of a graphics update if every single piece of gear that they release is shit? This is just one thing that I've noticed. The new stuff that they've been releasing, it is so fucking dog shit and basic. It is unbelievable. And this is supposed to be with the graphics update. If I had to choose one, I would pick, do not upgrade the graphics, just keep the shit the same. Now, I understand that graphics is very important to some people. I understand people are going to disagree with my mentality. However, there is a middle ground here. Regardless if you agree or disagree with me, we deserve better. They can do better. And that's my point. They can still give the graphics update and not take 4.5 months to give us shit. I think 4.5 months is too long. I'm glad people are still in their honeymoon phase with an MMO and enjoying it. But when you're an old gamer like me, you see things for what they are. I actually don't entirely know what he means by that, but this game is really catered for new players. I feel like understanding that is very important. Let me rephrase one little thing. After you get into the game, okay? Because getting into the game is not designed for new players, okay? After you get into the game, okay, let's be clear. After you get into the game, it is very new player friendly. As a new player in this game, you have a ridiculous amount of shit that you can do. Like a ridiculous amount of shit. And a lot of it is still played to this day. People do glamour farms on old shit, like Abyssos. One of the best glamour farms, dude. Abyssos, holy shit. You still have people running old ultimates. You still have people running UCOB. Okay, you still have people running Uwu, Fru, and like, dude, ultimate content is so fucking good for this game. The longevity that ultimate content gives this game is just, it's almost unrivaled. There's some other stuff in the game too that has a long lifespan, like Eureka, Boja, you know, that type of stuff. People still do that type of stuff. But for content that is originally designed for high-end players, the lifespan of that content is actually very, very long, okay? Because over time, the fights will naturally get easier, which opens it up to more people, and it's still relevant. Just try to put yourself in a brand new player's perspective, right? And progging UCOB for the first time. Like, dude, that has got to be so fun. That has got to be so hype. It's very easy to forget that because the content's been out so long. Everybody's already done it. It's very understandable that it's forgettable. You know what I mean? Like that you would forget that new player experience and all that stuff. But as a new player, seeing UCOB for your first time, dude, that would blow me away. Like that would blow me away. Okay. Like I would feel very fucking accomplished. Okay, let me ask you this question, man. Let me ask you this question. How many people started like in Dawntrail or Shadowbringers and you went back and cleared UCOB? Was that exciting for you? Because for me, if I would have done that, I thought it would have been super fucking exciting. Like even Uwu or Fru, well, I guess Fru's current, but you know what I mean? Like top DS, I can't even imagine DSR. Bro, DSR has got to be insane. So I'm just saying, man, look, I'm just saying, I know they're easy now for certain people. I understand that. But as a new player, there is a plethora of shit to do. They need to devote the proper resources going forward, or they will slowly bleed out veteran players who are fed up with the lack of change from the status quo. 7.3 will be a long patch cycle. Okay, so this right here, I agree to a certain extent and I disagree to a certain extent. 7.3 will be a long patch cycle. We already knew this. Everybody should have already known this. But the problem is that 7.3 being a long patch cycle, that is the player not having the correct expectations. We knew 7.3 was going to be a long patch cycle, but the reason why people are making a big deal about it is because they are newer players and don't know that's how the game is designed. The people that don't understand that 7.3 was designed to be a long patch cycle, they don't listen. I'm going to explain why the 7.3 is going to be a long patch cycle, okay? Based on history. There is always an odd patch with nothing in it. It has happened literally every single fucking expansion. Sometimes we get more than one, but we always get one. That chunk of time, that pocket of time, is either now in 7.3 or in 7.5. It is one or the other. Now, the question of why do they always have one dead patch or whatever, like one boring patch, that is a completely different conversation. The conversation we're having is that this is a long patch cycle and it is to be expected. People should have seen this coming. The fact people didn't see this coming is perplexing to me because it's like they don't fucking listen, which is why I'm ranting all the fucking time, which is why I'm looping all the fucking time. It's because people don't fucking listen. This is the prediction. This is the timeline that I think is going to happen. It should be expected but never accepted. That I can agree with. Yes, just because we don't accept something does not mean we should not expect it. I am in agreement. I have said for fucking 10 years that I think we need more. We need more. Okay. I agree with you, but that doesn't take away from the fact that you have to expect it. This right here is the dead zone. So this dead zone is going to ricochet back up to all the way up here when the new Savage is released. 7.3 is going to be a long patch cycle. I want you guys to just accept the fact that 7.3 is going to be a casual patch. It's not going to last very long for mid-core players and hardcore players, and it's going to be long. And I want you to catch up on some old shows that you haven't watched. I want you to catch up on some old games that you haven't watched. You know, I want you to go for a run or do some stairs. All of the content is going to happen starting this next Savage that we're going to get. Okay? That's when the game is going to be just releasing shit after shit after shit. Okay? That is what I predict. Could I be wrong? Yes, I could be wrong. But I don't think I'm wrong. And this whole thing, this whole mentality, the whole chart is based on history. Basically, if you're still playing now, you either, one, have a house, don't want to lose it. Okay, this is true. Yes, this is true. 100%. 100% this is true. Have a social or RP circle to hang with, but you don't really do battle content. This I agree with, but I also disagree with. You can still definitely have a social circle and RP circle and also still do battle content. This comes from his perspective where he is caught up from everything and not everybody is caught up with everything. So let me give you an example. Maybe you started this expansion. Maybe you started last expansion. You haven't cleared all the content in the game. You can still definitely 100% play this game while still having battle content to do. Spamming legacy ultimates until you build your own island and house made purely out of fucking totems. The thing is like some people find that fun and they don't have to use stuff for their house. I get what he's trying to say though with spamming legacy ultimates, but to me, this comes from a point that he doesn't like doing that. That he doesn't like doing that. And that's fine. That's fine. But some people actually enjoy doing that. Like, and it also depends on your perspective of the game too. What I mean is I have done top probably 100 times. Okay. Now I understand that there's people that's done top more than that, but I can tell you this, after like 10 clears of top, I'm kind of done with top. Okay. I'm going to be real. After about 10 clears, I was fucking done. But some people really like those fights. So for instance, okay, I did DSR way more than top. That's because I genuinely enjoyed the fight. Here's another thing too, man. One thing that actually got me started on Twitch was Clear for One. For those of you that have not been on the stream for a while, I first started, and to my knowledge, now correct me if I'm wrong, but when I first started streaming, I specialized in helping people get clears and Clear for Ones. As a matter of fact, I did it so long ago that I did it before the Party Finder. I did it when you had to queue up in the Duty Finder. That feeling of helping people lasted an insanely long time. And to this day, I still enjoy helping people get clears. I did a bunch of Clear for Ones on Fru. I did a lot on top. I did a lot on DSR. I still like it. Okay, now I'm going to say this, right? That feeling has faded over time. Yes, it has. I don't do it as much as I used to. Okay, like, dude, we were talking about this the other day. Look, this is a clear for one, actually. Hold on, let me see. This is good. I promise, dudes. I promise this is good.
Well, that's it. That's me, dudes. This is me. This is me.
That's a clear for one.
I'm in a grave. Oh, shit. This is me, dudes. I'm in a grave. I'm in a grave, dudes. I'm a burger in the grave.
I was very upset, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Give me the chain. Give me the chain.
Okay, hold on. There's one more. Oh, this one's fucking hilarious. Hold on. Look at this one. This one's funny. Look. This is a living dead one. Hold on. This is a living dead one.
How do we not have Benny? Oh, no. Oh, no! You betted me too soon!
That's a clear for one.
I can't fucking believe that. Yo, this is me. I'm in a grave. Just another early Benny. Just Benny, forehead. Just fucking Benny, forehead. Yo, what's up? Oh, you didn't get Benny? Me? Huh. Yo, I got Benny too soon. I got Benny too fucking...
Okay. One more. I want to find the snowman one. Oh, okay. This was the best one. Dude, I was so mad. I was so fucking mad when this happened, bro. I was so mad, dude. Oh my god.
Oh, look, like 3 fucking people got concussion. Please vote. This is me, dudes. This is me! I'm in a grave! I'm a snowman in the grave! Summer came! It's a blast! Summer came, dude! The heat wave came in, now I'm dead! Now I'm fucking dead! I'm a snowman in a grave! Thank you!
I was so mad. Okay, I tried to play it off like I wasn't mad, but I was so mad, dude. Okay, look, anyway. My point being is clear for ones are very fun. So let's see. Milking, stalling MSQ, or still progging current tier. Okay, so this is good, but also I would change current tier to just progging in general. I'm not trying to nitpick here, but I feel the words milking and stalling, I think it's a little tiny bit disingenuous. I think it's a little more meaner than it should be because people like to take their time with the story, and I feel like that if you're taking your time with the story, that is not indicative of milking or stalling necessarily. You're just taking your time. You are a Lego person singing "Everything is Awesome" SC White Knight. So let's read some of the comments. I agree on several points, especially in terms of certain quality of life, but that end statement just sounds like a bitter statement. I don't think so. I don't think that's bitter at all. I think it's true. Even I could find several reasons to log in. It's often not for something new, but for something I've been meaning to do for a long time in the chasm of features that have been released over the years. People play the game with narrow interests, and there's nothing wrong with that. You shouldn't do what you don't enjoy. Just be honest that you only enjoy particular parts of the game and are only interested in those parts. Don't disregard that there is more you could do, but simply don't want to. So this is what I was saying earlier, is that I don't enjoy crafting. I don't enjoy fishing. I don't enjoy maps. I don't enjoy any of that shit. But I don't fault people that do it. If you enjoy that shit, then I'm very glad that this stuff is in the game. I try really hard to always remind people, and also myself, that just because you don't enjoy something doesn't mean that it's bad. It doesn't mean that other people don't enjoy it. At least half the game I don't even give a fuck about. But that doesn't mean that I think that the game is shit because of that stuff. Like, I don't do Chocobo racing, but I see people have fun doing that shit. You know, people collect Triad cards and shit like that. I actually did play Triple Triad for a little while, but then it just got kind of boring, so I stopped. I will try to never say that the game is dead purely because I'm out of stuff to do when there's more stuff in the game. However, I will say this. I will say that there should be more shit, okay? I am able to say that. There is more shit. I'll give you an example. Like the upcoming patch. Why in the fuck aren't we getting more shit? Let's see. I spent 3 months working on my ocean fishing title with working on hunts in between. I spent days doing treasure maps, worked on my solo deep dungeons. Now I'm doing big fishing. I engage with activities that have active communities, and trust me, it's a breath of fresh air instead of living in the doomer but no ultimate crowd. Me and Happy, we actually handle this in the same way. I've never asked Happy this. I've never talked to Happy about this, but I'm pretty sure, he's a good player, hardcore raider, and I'm pretty sure that's one of his favorite things to do. If it wasn't one of his favorite things to do, he wouldn't fucking do it every tier. When there's no raiding to be done, he still plays the game, but he just does other shit. Whereas I just play other shit. because there ain't no shot that I'm doing maps, fishing, hunts. Ain't no shot. But the thing is that his mentality is probably the same on what I'm doing. Because if you were to ask him, hey, you want to play this fucking private server Korean game? He would probably laugh at you. So like how I'm laughing about big fish, he's probably laughing about fucking, he's playing Guild Wars 2. Okay. All right. That's my point. Happy's actually played this game longer than me. Going by what he says, going by how he presents himself, I'm going to assume that he has accepted what you should accept when you play this game. There will be downtimes. And instead of making some grand, hello everyone, I come to you today to announce my break from the game. I will be taking an extended break, and I want everyone to know, and I want people to ask me why. He doesn't do that. He just fucking plays something else. That's it. There are some content creators that will literally post every time they take a break. And it's like, brother, shut up. No one cares. Just go play the other game and come back. Like, just do it, man. Like, it's fine. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look, if that's what you want to do, then that's what you want to do. But I just don't see the point in it. Honestly, dude, reading your social posts has become absolutely exhausting for me. I don't know what post that he's talking about. But then again, I'm going to be honest, guys, I don't really follow Twitter near as much. I mostly follow this website just for like animal pictures and memes and shit, Like I don't really take anything too serious on the site. But one thing that I do disagree with, the end statement sounds like a bitter statement. I actually don't think it sounds bitter at all. I think this sounds extremely truthful because there are a lot of SC White Knights. That's just the fact. Like, you can't argue that fact. Guys, remember, this game went from one extreme to the other. If you were to say, like, I don't know, fucking at the beginning of the expansion or, like last year or some shit. If you said anything like negative about the game, you would be like, exiled from the community and crucified. And I know because I have always been extremely critical of this game, and that extreme criticism has been confused with hatred. Those people, they're not listening to the things that I'm saying. I'm saying these things because I want the game to be better, not just for me, but for everybody. And I've always had that mentality. Even for the fishers and the hunters and all that shit. It's just when I talk about this shit, I normally stick to topics that I know about. I try really hard to not open my big fat mouth about shit that I don't know about. Guys, shut up. Don't fucking argue in my chat like that. Stop calling each other names. Shut up. I'm going to fucking ban both of you. I don't care. Take it to DMs. This statement is 100% true because there are SC White Knights. There are people that purely play this game. And it's also on the opposite end too. It's also on the opposite end. There are people that will always hate this game. It's crazy. There are people that literally play this game all the time and just completely shit on it all the time. Do you guys know those people? They're typically on Twitter. You'll see these people that like completely shit on the game, but they're constantly playing it. Like, if you hate the game so much, then brother, why are you playing it? Like, why? I don't understand. On the opposite end of the spectrum, you have White Knights that will always say that they love the game no matter what. I don't think this statement is bitter at all. I think it's true. I actually think that this statement is quite comical because it's making fun of White Knights. Sayori had a very, very, very good tweet. I usually don't speak up on topics like this, but today I feel I need to. 6 years ago, I downloaded a game that would quietly, profoundly change my life. I agree. Same thing happened to me. Well, not 6 years ago, but since then I made lifelong friends, discovered unforgettable music, laughed, cried, and found a community I deeply love. Even before I ever thought of streaming. 14 was my safe space and my comfort. It still is. Like anything, this game has always had areas to improve. That is still true today. Constructive feedback is necessary for growth. Things like friends list, update, DC travel, housing demolitions, quality of life. There's so much room to do better. But I continue to play 14 because it brings me joy. Right here is the most important thing. Because it does not matter. It doesn't matter what content is in the game, what content is not in the game, what content should be added to the game. You guys need to think about yourselves more. Maybe not you guys in particular. I'm just saying people in general. You need to think about yourselves more. You need to and stop worrying about what other people think. Who cares if you're playing a game that is in a lull? Like, why do 14 players care about WoW players? Why do WoW players care about 14 players? Why is there even a concept of one player from an MMO caring about what another player from an MMO does? I don't understand. I don't understand the concept. I will never fault someone for doing something that they enjoy doing that's bringing no harm to anyone. And I feel like that's the most important thing. Play what you want because it's your time. You know, you only get one life. Why fill that life with a bunch of petty hatred? Lately, there's been a wave of negativity that goes beyond critique. It feels like outrage for engagement's sake. It's okay to take a break due to burnout or while waiting for new content. It is valid to not like where things are going and quitting the game. But it's not okay to turn on others to simply finding joy in something you no longer do. This happens way too often. 14's current situation resembles WoW from 4 years ago. Devs stubbornly stick to their ways despite the community's growing. Did that happen in WoW? Oh, it happens in Shadowland. Prominent content creators preach then Zeppelin now get hate for voicing criticisms and betraying their game. History repeats itself. No DOL, DOH mention, no PvP mention, no DD mention, no achievement grind mention. It's either hardcore combat or ERP. What the fuck? Either ERP? That doesn't even make any sense. It's like the guy didn't even read the post. But anyway, to you, and if you don't play them, you are subbing for nothing. By God, Yoshi, please close in a server so I don't have to suffer from fucking gringos. What? You and the 5 other people still doing PvP weren't worth the bullet point, in my opinion. Dude, that's holy shit. Jesus Christ, man. That's pretty funny. Regardless of my feelings on the rest of the post, starting out with there are no major quality of life or UI updates in over a decade is confusing me. Back in Heaven's Ward, we couldn't even search the market board if we typed weren't case. Okay, yeah. This is what I heard earlier. You can look at every single facet of the game and point out a major quality of life that has happened. Oh, all right. So like earlier I said that there were like major quality of life updates, but I actually agree with Sophie, but this is not a good example. Okay. This is not a good example. And this is why I separate quality of life with, I guess, fixing a mistake. Like I understand what she's saying and I agree with her, but there could have been a better example because like not being able to do this on the market board, that to me is not a quality of life. This to me is just fixing a fuck up. And there's a difference between quality of life and fixing a fuck up. So I agree with what she's saying. It's just I mean, come on. You got to use a better example. Okay. The example was bad, but I do actually agree. I'll be 44 in a few months or 50 hours a week. I've been playing since 1.0. Took a break before Rome Reborn. Yes, I still play even with MSQ. It's a game. There's no way it will be whatever everyone wants. That's true. Played WoW from 2005, 2013. The same issues. I can put a lot of fault to SE, but unfortunately, this is how the game industry moves now. Most of them must fail. Most of them, same reasons. I enjoy MSQ, dungeons, raids, hunts, etc. I have less than 3 hours a week to play. So when I do, it's awesome, even with its flaws. I just got my Machinist 100 yesterday. To each their own, but I can't agree with the people having such a negative reaction to Dawntrail as a whole. Yeah, see, so I agree with like I agree with this. I think that what it comes down to, man, the reason that Dawntrail is getting so much negativity is purely because of the story. And it's because of loud fucking, like I said earlier at the start of this, loud, soft pillow bitches that just should shut the fuck up. They are doing the same thing that like, what was that guy that made that really stupid video about like stand still, let thing resolve? Who was that guy again? Lynx. Yeah, Lynx. So the same people that are crying about how bad the game is are just Lynxes, but on the other opposite end of the spectrum. Lynx said that the game sucked because, you know, the raids were horrible, all this shit. But he hadn't done any of the previous content. He was an old, tired, salty fucking raider. Okay? I remember Lynx from back in the day. I remember him because this guy would repeat everything that I would say and pretend that he was the one that said it. I know you did that. I know you did that. I never really addressed it because you didn't really try to like be a content creator or thing like that. But trust me, if you would have, I would have shit all over you. Trust me. Yes. No, I remember him from back in the day. These people now are just the Lynx version of like, they're the version of Lynx, but on the opposite end of the spectrum. They're the crybabies. Like Lynx was a crybaby. Okay. He went through like, okay, he was salty about the game because he had some bad experience with some raid groups and figured that the whole game was shit because he was fucking shit or his raid group fell apart or some shit like that. Just same shit. You know people like that, okay? You know people that have a bad experience in raiding and instead of blaming the raid group or themselves, they blame the game. Lynx was one of those people. In my opinion, the people that are crying about the game now are just the story version of Lynx. That's it. Dawntrail is one of my favorite expansions. And it has an amazing amount of like good fucking content, like battle content. I'm speaking purely from a battle perspective. I don't give a fuck about the story. If you say that Dawntrail is bad because of the story, like I have no retort to that. I'm not going to agree with you, but I'm not going to disagree with you. I'm indifferent. But if you say Dawntrail is bad as a whole expansion, I'm going to disagree with you because it's not. We've actually got more content in this expansion than we have in like any other fucking expansion. So you can't say that we're not getting content. If you're going to say that Dawntrail is shit, you need to say Dawntrail story is shit. Do not encompass everything in the story. Like the raiding and combat of Dawntrail is awesome. Now, could the jobs be better? Yes, of course. But the jobs could have been better last expansion. Yes, of course. But the fights, the content has been amazing. It has been awesome, in my opinion. Very similar feel to Stormblood. People didn't particularly like the story in Stormblood, but they love the battle content. So like, if you're going to say Dawntrail is shit, say it's because of the story. But to encompass everything in that statement, Dawntrail is shit, that is a mistake. That is just, it's wrong. It's not correct. I think people should try to have more of an open mind. I think that people should try to accept things for the way they are. I think that people should try to have the right expectations. One of the most important things, man, you shouldn't shit on something just because you don't like it. Like just because it's not for you. I think you should take a second to think to yourself, okay, well, I don't like it, but maybe someone else does. And if someone else does, why should you care? Unless it affects you, right? Like if it doesn't affect you and it's not harming anyone, you know what I'm saying? What does it matter? Like think about yourself more. Like right now for me, I haven't logged into 14, I logged in the other day to keep my house. But that doesn't mean that I'm salty about the game. It just literally means that I beat everything in the game and now I'm taking a break. It affects me indirectly because of limited development time. Like I don't agree with that, man. I don't agree with that because you can't change it. That's like being pissed off that we can't go over to the next galaxy because it's too far. Like, why? It doesn't affect you. You can't change it. You literally can't change it. I guess that's another thing to add to the list. Don't get pissed about things you can't change. That's the acceptance part. I don't know, man. What Unk had to say. Oh, here we go. I don't understand. Nothing Llama Todd posted was wrong. He didn't say the game is bad. He pointed out actual glaring problems and improvements that can be done to the game. Why is it getting so much shit? The way he said wasn't the best way to say to 14 community. He leaves no room for being wrong and presumes anybody who disagrees with him is essentially a hostage of the game. Okay, now that I can see. Now granted, I didn't take it that way, right? I didn't really think about that. I mean, I guess now that you mention it, I could see people taking it that way, especially the word hostage, like they feel like forced to play it. But you know what? Maybe people are upset because some of that's true. Maybe they do feel hostage in playing the game and they just don't want to admit it. Yeah, so I don't know. I figured I'd just give my opinion on the situation because a lot of people were asking me about it. A lot of people were asking me about it. A lot of people were telling me about it. They were like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And I just wanted to talk about it today with you guys, man. To be honest, man, I'm just, I'm in the middle, man. I want the game to be better. I think we should voice our opinions. We should give constructive feedback, constructive criticism. But at the end of the day, like I said earlier, man, I think the most important thing is that we all want the game to be better. And I feel like the constructive criticism is important. Obviously, how you do it is also important. Like, don't shit on something just because you don't like it, because other people might like it. At the same time, you have to realize the game's faults. You know what I mean? Because the game definitely has faults. But at the same time, you have to realize how amazing and how great the game is, And if you don't agree with that, that's fine. I feel like over the years, I've maintained the same mentality. And I mean, I don't know, maybe you guys can tell me that I'm wrong. I just want the game to be better. I want there to be more shit. And I want people to have fun and enjoy it. And I've always held this game to a very high standard. I've always critiqued the game. I feel like I've been incredibly fair over the years. Everybody plays the games for different reasons. Okay, and just because someone plays a game for a reason that you don't play the game for, it doesn't invalidate their reason for the game. It doesn't necessarily mean that they are white knighting or, maybe they're not bored with the game. There's a lot of reasons to play the game. So I feel like that creating a line there, black and white, is wrong. Like for those of you that haven't been on the channel for very long, or, like back in the day, like 4, 5, 6 years ago, I was viewed as like the worst, horrible content creator in Final Fantasy XIV because I was one of the only people that actually criticized the game. Like I was always viewed as like a fucking horrible, vile person. I was, like back in the day. And it's just crazy to me because now I'm saying, whoa, guys, wait a minute. What are we doing here? The game is great. Yes, it has issues, but the last expansion had pretty much the same issues as this one. Why are we all super ass hurt now? I guess a lot of these issues I've complained about so much that it's not surprising to me. Maybe that's honestly what it is because I've been complaining about all this shit for years and years and years. I guess I'm used to it. it was very frustrating for me at times because I would try to, criticize the game. I would say Living Dead is shit. Fucking Sentinel is trash because it's a 3-minute cooldown instead of 2. Like, just all of these things, man. Paladins not being able to block magic. I actually got shit on for that. People were like, Paladins aren't supposed to block magic. I'm like, what what do you mean? You can literally block magic with a shield in Final Fantasy VI. This is Final Fantasy, right? Like, what do you mean? It's crazy to me that after playing this game for so long, the community viewed me as this asshole. I was this toxic elitist asshole that only cared about rating and... You know what? Maybe they were right. Anyway, but now it's completely shifted. Now I'm trying to tell these idiots that the game is not that bad. How the fuck did we go from one extreme to the other one? And you can ask Arthur's too, because he was around. He was around when everybody was shitting on me. Oh, you're watching that fucking guy. He's so toxic. He's an elitist. He says the game is bad. No, I'm saying things about the game are bad, and I'm wanting them to get better. And you know what? They did get better. You know what got better? Paladins can block magic. Living Dead. There's a plethora of things that I've said over the years that they've improved on. Anyway, we've been yapping, dudes. We've been yapping.